In today's video, I'm putting every single NBA legend in one draft class in Hoopland. As with the first pick, the Boston Celtics would select LeBron James, and then the second pick would be Moses Malone, and the third would be Shaquille O'Neal. And the Trailblazers just got an old Kareem Abdul-Jabbar over a prime one. And to my surprise, Michael Jordan would go number 9 and Jimmy Butler number 10. I mean, Jimmy Butler's not a high overall. All of these people are better than him. And the number 1 team so far is the Detroit Pistons because they have a Miami Heat LeBron James, they have Oscar Robertson, and Kevin Garnett. And I feel like their rival will be the Celtics because their team is stacked also. But the number 1 player in this entire video will be Derrick Rose. And there's a lot of potential bench warmers in this free agency like Jamal Murray, Tony Allen, and Darren Williams. But without further ado, let's simulate this first season and see what happens. And this is what the list is looking like for the top teams. The Milwaukee Bucks are the number 1 team with James Harden leading the charge, and then the Cavaliers, LeBron James, and Joel Embiid. And the Denver Nuggets would be the number 2 team with Jerry West carrying the team on his back. And at the number 3 spot, we have the Dallas Mavericks, Walt Frazier leading the charge. And Brandon Roy would be our leading scorer, and Anthony Davis would be the best rebounder, and Rajon Rondo was the best passer. And I was a little disappointed. Kobe only had 15 points per game, but he can only have that when everybody's hogging the ball. And even though Derrick Rose had 25 and 10, they gave MVP to Jerry West, who had 20 and 9. Something suspicious here. But the real thing to talk about now is it's playoff time. And in the first round, we had a typical Kobe Bryant versus prime LeBron. But Oscar Robertson literally led the charge, leading them to victory. LeBron only had to average 20, and Kobe Bryant wasn't even in the starting lineup. And another matchup I'm excited for is the Grizzlies versus the Trailblazers because both teams are stacked. Let's see how this goes. And yeah, Memphis would go ahead and take 2 games in a row, but after that, it was just a straight up Portland show. But I'm really not sure if they're able to beat the number 1 team in Jerry West. But before talking about that, the Clippers have been cooking their way into a showdown between Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. And the Mavericks would win game 1 as Pete Mardovich went off for 30. But like usual, Curry would bounce back, leading the game all the way to a game 7, and let's simulate and find out what happens. And here we are. This is actually a good game. This is tied up. Frazier with the ball here. Pete Mardovich working on Jordan. And real talk here, what are the Clippers doing? Because they have Curry and Michael Jordan. Curry working on Frazier, wide open. I don't know who that is, but he dunks it. Because I don't know what type of shot that was, but he still made it. Stephen Curry kicks it to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan working on Pete. He can't guard him from the side. Cousins. All right, things are really starting to come to the wire. Walt Frazier, is he going to cook? No, I see the screen for Petey. Petey, another 3. Bang! Dallas is slowly but surely starting to pull away here. Walt Frazier has again Petey, a heat check potentially. No, he's going to give it to Giannis for the side shot. Everyone knows if Curry doesn't lock in here, this is the end of their season. Curry, show us something. Spinning shot. This is still anybody's game. Will Dallas close it out? Frazier with the ball. I see the screen. I see a move from Scotty. He only has 6 points. All right, here's the last chance. Curry better lock in the same move. Bang! They keep going back and forth. Who wants it? Walt Frazier going to the right with a little spin hook. Oh my gosh. All right, will Jordan take the final shot? It's only best if he does it. He's using a screen. What is he going to do? Oh, he's going to dunk it early. This may allow Dallas to take the final shot. Walt Frazier, I think he's going to close the game out. A few seconds. Oh! So even though Steph had 40, it still wasn't enough to win. And the Trailblazers ended up actually going to game 7 with the Nuggets, and somehow they took the dub. But what these West teams did not know is that somebody on the East was rising, and that player's name was LeBron James. Because he would have to meet up with the Trailblazers, and it was just too easy for LeBron. He would win a championship averaging 37. And if you know anything about Kobe, you know he was going to take that personal, as he trained every single day, and obviously it would pay off. I mean, he literally carried his team to the 2nd seed, but the 1st seed is the New Orleans Pelicans with Tracy McGrady and Magic Johnson. As Kobe Bryant and Magic Johnson would kill in the playoffs, meeting each other in the finals. But unfortunately for the Pelicans, Kobe Bryant was on a generational run and he was able to win a championship. So you already know everybody was trying to beat Kobe this season. I mean, Aaron Gordon even had a spectacular season. And Allen Iverson jumped from 16 points per game to 20 23. And look at that from Chris Paul. 15 assists per game. How does that happen? And shout out to Kevin Garnett for leading the league in blocks, because I barely talk about defense. And I forgot Carmelo Anthony existed. It's glad to see that he's doing great. And based off of LeBron's stats, I thought he was going to be MVP, but again, they gave it to Jerry West. And the funny thing is that Oscar Robinson's stats is actually better. I'm not joking. And speaking of Oscar Robinson, don't forget about this team. They're going to be good. But there's only one way to find out, so let's simulate the playoff. And I was excited to see what the Nuggets had in store because I wanted somebody to pull an upset. And at first, the Nuggets won 3 straight games, but somehow Grizzlies were able to force a game 7. But unfortunately, it's looking like they might actually not win. Paul George with a screen. He's going in, he's driving in, hitting a little spin layup. Yeah, they're cooked. And nice lay-in by Fat Lever there. Okay, Jerry, why are they not fouling? Can somebody understand? I don't understand. Why are they not fouling? Jimmy Butler has the ball. They're still not fouling. He's trying to back him down. He kicks it out for the 3. A foul and 1. But the Denver Nuggets would end up winning, but their next opponent was so good, it was out of this world. And I guess my hot take on the Indiana Pacers were wrong, as the Knicks would go on to face Allen Iverson and the Celtics. And the most exciting matchup I wanted to see was an old Kevin Durant versus a Cleveland LeBron. But it looks like Allen Iverson and his squad would move on, and also the Charlotte Hornets will move on in Game 7. And unfortunately, the Denver Nuggets would get swept by the man himself, Michael Jordan. And after Kevin Durant would beat Allen Iverson and the Celtics, he would now make it to the finals to face Michael Jordan and the Clippers. And even though the Hornets did have the first 2 games, it just wasn't enough, and the Clippers ended up winning the championship. And with us going into the 4th season, I decided to put computer trading on. And you know James Harden had to use that to advantage, and he would instantly hop on the Lakers. But I mean, other than that, there wasn't very many trades. Everybody stayed loyal, and they're ready for the season. And can somebody explain to me how the Pelicans keep being the #1 team? They're led by Magic, but Oscar Robinson's 10 times better. I think he might win MVP. But we also cannot sleep on Derrick Rose. He's averaging 25 and 10. And I guess things didn't work out with James Harden and the Lakers because he's playing good, but the team is terrible. And somehow Magic Johnson wins MVP over LeBron James. And can somebody tell me how Steve Nash made All-NBA team, but somehow in the playoffs, the Pelicans would choke to Xavier McDaniels, and that would end up leaving Damian Lillard with no competition as he won Finals MVP over the Hornets. And I mean, a lot of players has entered free agency because 4 years is up. I mean, we even have Mark Price, the 5-star, as a free agent right now. And look at this, Oscar Robinson going to a new team. He's the #1 prospect. You see, he used to play for Pistons. Now he's for Pelicans. And Dennis Rodman will also be going to a brand new team. And you already know the Black Santa Claus likes to jump around. And jumping around only got him into the play-in. Kobe Bryant was the league's best scorer, and he's #1 prospect now. And to my surprise, LeBron is not that much behind. He's looking like an MVP. And Damian Lillard having a spectacular season after winning the finals. And some of these small forwards have to step up. No way LeBron wins it 6 times in a row. And how is Paul Pierce almost averaging 20 coming off the bench? But Oscar Robinson will win MVP. He shouldn't have gotten it last year. But I really am excited to see what he'll do against the Spurs. And I just thought about it. This team has Magic Johnson and Derrick Rose coming off the bench. But I have a good projection for Russell Westbrook this year. They're going to the final. And just like I expected, the New Orleans Pelicans swept them. And even though Dirk Nowitzki had 44 points, it still wasn't enough to slow down Dame. And we have a shocker here. The Knicks went to Game 7, and here we are. Let's go ahead and jump into this game. Okay, can the Knicks make a comeback here? Penny Hardaway. Oh, David Robinson with a fake and a swish. Okay, Knicks, I believe in y'all. Y'all better stop this boy. I see the screen. I see the screen. Don't let him get to the paint. Oh, no, he's wide open. He's wide open. He's going to hit that. He's drilling that every time. Do you guys want to win? Westbrook kicks it out to Marjorie for 3. Bro, these teams are going back and forth. I didn't even know they had Jason Kidd. He's lobbing it up to D-Wade. I don't know, Knicks. Y'all have to get going. Come on, Westbrook. Show me something. He's going to use the screen. Oh, yeah, he can cook him. Did he just go between the legs? Yo, Westbrook is actually crazy, but it doesn't matter. Quit leaving D-Wade open. I'm starting not to believe the comeback anymore. Westbrook, why are you not doing anything? You better start cooking. Show me something. Okay, you broke his ankles, but why are you shooting? You're Westbrook. You're Westbrook. This game might already be over. What are you? What the heck is that? What the heck is that? I'm about to crash out. This season might have just ended for Westbrook and the Knicks. I mean, okay. Well, at least I can confirm New York Knicks are out of the playoffs. And Rajon Rondo, 15 assists to lead the team past the Cavs. But their next opponent will be much harder, as it's LeBron and the Detroit Pistons. And Michael Jordan looking to return to the finals and beat New Orleans. But unfortunately for MJ, that wouldn't happen, as he would end up taking a beating. And that would pretty much go the same for the Miami Heat LeBron James. And speaking of LeBron, the Pelicans will have to face Cavalier LeBron James, as they would go on to win the championship. And just because I felt like it, I did yet another fantasy draft. And to my surprise, if you were number 1 ranked, you would go number 1. If you were number 2, you would go number 2, and etc. And look at this. What a coincidence. LeBron returning home. Also, the same thing could be said for Kevin Love. I mean, everything's new. There's a whole bunch of new squads. Free agency is new. Wait, who is this guy? But let's go on ahead and simulate this season to see what happens. And all I'm gonna say is there's a lot of differences this year. Coming in at first, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers, who has Derrick Rose and LeBron James. At second, we have the Chicago Bulls, and they're led by Gary Payton. And then the Minnesota Timberwolves will be led by Kobe Bryant. And quick shout out to Kevin Durant for having a great season. And we have Gary Payton winning MVP. I don't know what I think about this, but here we are in the playoffs, and the first match I'm looking at just looks so majestic for some reason. But it wouldn't be so majestic for the Nuggets, because they would get eliminated. And I haven't talked about Kareem as much, but he's on the Sacramento Kings, and there's no way you can call those stats MVP-like. I mean, he would end up going to Game 7 with the 8th seed, and looks like Westbrook's gonna get recorded again. Come on, back him down. You're showing some skill this time. To be honest, I'm a Gary Payton hater. He should not have won MVP. He's dribbling it, and Emmer Monroe, his pickpocket. Dwayne Wade with the defensive effort. Adrian Danley with the hook. See, this is Gary Payton's problem. He's not a good offensive threat. He can't show out when it's time. He can't do it. He's not Kobe. He's trying to back down Westbrook, but it's not gonna work. I already know. Nope. Yes, that's a brick. Westbrook, do not sell this out. This is your chance. Work on him. It's Gary Payton. He does have good defense, though. Don't think he's a slouch. On the screen, Westbrook driving. Gary Payton with a steal. That could be the game. Sean Kemp can't shoot. Sean Kemp can't shoot. Yup, he's gonna miss the free throws. Y'all have to quickly go and score here. Danny Manning, what are you doing? Just give it to Westbrook. Westbrook takes it with a spectacular dunk. This is one of the best Hoopland games I've watched. This is for it all. Paul Pierce has it. The MVP couldn't do it, but Paul Pierce can. He's going in. Oh! Here we go. Are we going to overtime? Season on the line. They hit it to Donnelly, and that's game. That's it. But as that happened, LeBron James would move on and now face Donovan Mitchell, who used to play for the Cavs. But the King himself did not care about none of that, as he would sweep them and move on. And surprisingly, the Bulls would go to another Game 7, but unlike last time, they lost and let Mookie Baylock, I don't even know, because LeBron's team would absolutely demolish them, leading 4-0. And it's crazy because LeBron has been on a generational run, as he would also win the championship and defeat Sacramento. But looking at the all-time scoring leaders, obviously number 1 would be Kobe Bryant, number 2 Damian Lillard, number 3 P.D. Mardovich, he was actually good, LeBron James number 4, and number 5 James Harden. And Chris Paul was by far the best passer, and in my opinion, the best player in this video was Oscar Robinson. So make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and we're out.